So today I'm going to come in here, and first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm bringing in a guest today who's from the real estate world and a very near and dear partner who I think the world of. And one of the things that we all know is there are areas in the industry of business and life that we deal in that we want to know about. And real estate is one, because I've always been unclear about it myself. But sitting down just for a few minutes recently, I got to learn more than I've ever learned in one bite size. And I got real estate books and everything that I listen to. So with that being said, I thought it would be a beautiful idea if we brought my good friend, Robert Ernst, onto the show and speaking to his company, the Flagler School of Real Estate, which is, for me, a place that if you want to really learn, this is it. And I look forward to introducing you guys and letting you know. But before I get started, I'd like to say to our sponsors, special shouts out to Jab Juice Social Media for sponsoring this show and making sure that all of you know that we appreciate you for tuning in. Introducing, no further ado, my good friend, Robert Ernst from the Flagler School of Real Estate. Welcome, brother, on the show.
Hey, Eric, how are you this morning?
I'm great, man. I'm always good to hear more good information that you have for me. And what I want to do right now, I'm going to just keep it simple, man. You know how we do. I just want to really kick back, and I want you to really let people know a little bit about you first, because everyone had a start in something. And I want to know what drew you down the road of real estate, and what's your passion about it, and what's your motivation?
Well, it started for me back when I was about 20 years old. I had a son when I was quite young, and I needed a way to be able to provide for my family. And I kept going through and doing everything that everybody said you could make so much money so quick doing this and buy this program. And I grew up watching, Carlton Sheets and William McCorkle and all these other things. And I was buying all of their things, and I was spending all my money, and I was literally going broke. And somebody came to me and said, there's no easy way to make $1 million overnight. And they told me, why don't you just start and go get your real estate license? All this money that you spent in all these courses and reading all these books, that's all great. However, there's one real way to make it happen. Go get an education. And when they told me get an education, I thought college, I thought trade school, I thought that's a lot of money, that's a lot of time. And I never realized that a real estate school, to be able to get a license here in the state of Florida, it only requires 63 hours, just 7 days, a fast track course. And then you're eligible to take your state exam, and you're off to the races doing real estate transactions. And, what's funny is that they tell you go flip houses and make all this money, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 checks. And I could just go sell a house and make, at that time, $5,000 or $6,000, commission. Now the average commission today in the state of Florida, especially in the South Florida region, is about $9,000, $10,000. You're not going to really sell. It might be even more because the lower income stuff isn't really selling as fast as the mid to high income stuff. So it was just starting there.
So it's a benefit to really be down here in South Florida when you're doing it. So tell me, when you were finding that, I mean, what made you decide to start the Flagler School of Real Estate? Tell me that. Get me there. What did you see in the marketplace that made you say,
over 30 years of just fine tuning that knack or that niche of how to actually be able to close transactions. A lot of my friends, I want to do this too. You're doing really well. And they go to the class, they get their license, and they never succeeded. Because they didn't ask the right questions about what it actually took for me to get where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And, and it is a great thing, but they didn't have what they needed to put into it. Again, nothing comes without
Yeah.
sacrifice. Nothing comes without discipline. And those were
Yeah.
the same friends that said, "Hey, let's go out this weekend. Let's go out tonight. Let's go to Ed." It was like, no, I have to work. So I sacrificed, a lot of friends and a lot of time with family at times to be able to build what we have here today. And they didn't understand through the traditional real estate schools what it actually took. It wasn't just 63 hours and, you're coming out tomorrow and working 4 hours a day
Yeah.
and making 6 figures a year. It takes time to get to that point, and it's always a starting point, whether you start off with rentals and you're building a network of clientele and that you'll be able to work with in the future. And that's pretty much what it came to. And then to get back to the question, why I started what I have is because I felt there was a real need for somebody to receive a quality, a real education that took real life and put it into the education as well. And that's why we don't offer just the 63 hours that the state requires. We offer that to get you your state license, but we also have a full schedule of advanced learning classes to where you learn everything that you need to know to get into your niche, into your market, and what you're comfortable doing, whether it's dealing with probate attorney, getting probate listings, or tax lien, all these other things that people talk about now. And they talk about how easy it is and how much money you can make with no money down and no credit. It's like, no, let's sit down and talk about how it really happens and what it really takes to get into it. And it was just a passion. What's that?
No, with that question, what you just said, what was missing from most of the other schools that you acknowledged so that you feel that, boy, was that a place?
What was missing is that they were just giving the 63 hours. They were saying, okay, great, you passed your class test. Good luck. See you later. Bye. And statistically, the passing rate for the state exam in the state of Florida is less than 50%. So you have a multitude of people going to real estate school.
50%?
Less than 50% actually pass their state exam after going to 63 hours of real estate class.
So you could tell that. Flunk.
Right, you don't pass it. We don't like to say it. Nobody really fails it. They just don't pass it. The only time somebody will ever fail is if they don't get up and try it again. And that's what we encourage our students on a day-to-day basis. It's like, you're not going to fail it. You might not pass it the first time, but get back up and we're going to be here for you. We're going to help you back on that horse and you're going to ride off into the sunset with a real estate license.
Yeah.
And that we.
So I mean, that being said, I understand education is so important. I'm reading 12 books simultaneously currently right now. So the difference in what you're doing and what they're doing is clearly just basically you're giving them real grassroots education. Is that the difference?
It's real life scenarios. It's practicality. It's a multitude of different angles that we teach at. Yeah. And the extra curriculum classes, the advanced learning classes that we give, it's not just a book. I mean, books are great, and I think everybody should read books on it helps. However, there's a lot of things that have to be put into a real world, scenario for somebody to.
All right, give me an example. Because I remember you saying this. This is what real people want to know. They don't want to hear the fluff of these guys out here doing this stuff. And okay, you're talking over my head. What is one of those scenarios that are common that people really thought they knew? They got their license and then they go out here and try to do a deal and boom, it's like, oh, I don't know how to really do this.
Right. The thing, and I love the state of Florida for the opportunity that they gave me and that they give everybody. However, they spend a lot of time in the real estate class talking about mortgages and closing disclosures, closing statements, and you have to know the prorations and which side of the closing statement it goes on. And that's great. It's great to be able to tell your buyer or your seller, to be able to go over the statement with them and explain line for line what it all means. That's great. But they don't teach you how to write a contract. They don't teach you how to network. They don't teach you the ins and outs of a contract, whether it's a rental contract, a lease, a contract to lease. They don't teach you the difference between an as-is contract and a standard contract. They miss out on a lot of important, very important things. I mean, okay, you have a real estate license. Do you know the first thing about a contract? Do you know what legal implications are in there? Do you know what the legal responsibility? If I'm telling you, hey, let's go buy this house and give me a $10,000 escrow deposit, and what is that subjecting you to? I should be able to explain that, and the schools don't do that. So again, even though we provide the 63 hours, it goes way beyond the 63 hours. We have smaller class sizes, so we're able to give each student individual one-on-one attention. We're also affiliated with a great brokerage, which is Reastate 360 Realty. So our students, during the class, that 63 hours time, they can come in on the weekends. They can come on anytime they want to actually sit there and have a real working knowledge and work on a contract to understand it. They can attend a closing and actually see a closing statement and understand why things are prorated, what's paid in arrears, what's the whole inner workings of it. So it gives them a better knowledge, and it significantly increases, their passing rate. And
Good.
It's needed, and people should have a good understanding before they go and work with the public.
Yeah, you're right, because if I'm deciding, okay, I'm gonna go to Boca Raton, I want to buy a house in Boca Raton, you send an agent, and what would that agent need to be equipped with to give me the best experience as a customer, and them as your student? What would you want them to make sure that as far as my experience, that it was a great experience? How do you encourage your agents once they're in the school to make sure that we have a great buying experience? What separates you guys?
The most important thing that I train agents or licensees, potential licensees, no matter what brokerage that they go for, knowledge, information, studying, just like you read a lot of books. And people agents are sitting at home right now as we speak I don't know where to get business, and this isn't working for me. Well, they should be online every day on the MLS, which is the multiple listing service. They should be researching different communities, especially in Boca Raton, where you have a lot of, homeowner communities. I should know, and agents should know everything about that community before they bring you, to that community. They could let you know, look, this community doesn't allow commercial trucks. What if I didn't know that? And, I just bring you in there. We spend a lot of time. You put money down. Then you get the homeowner docs.
Oh, my God.
You realize, well, I can't bring my truck here. Okay, well, this is a waste of your time. You got excited because you thought this was a perfect house. Why didn't I, as a licensed professional, somebody that you rely on this information, I should have told you we can't look in this community or this community unless you figure something out with your commercial truck. There's a lot of other things. They only allow 2 dogs in this community per household. But you have 3 dogs, you have the mother, father, and a puppy, and you can't have 3 dogs in this community. There's just a lot of things that knowledge, agents should have the knowledge. And, one big thing we always discuss is a farming area. So you pick out a demographic area, a certain area that you want to work in, whether it's, West Boca, East Boca, and you learn everything about that community. You spend time every single day in that community in one way or another, learning the restaurants, meeting the people in the community. That way, when I take you there and show you a property, I can tell you this is here, this is here, this is what this community offers. It's closer to the beach. It has, all your restaurants within walking distance, like a walkability score. And I should know those things if I'm going to properly represent you. I mean, would you go to an attorney to represent you if he didn't, let's just DUI, for example? Would you go to a traffic attorney, that does ticket law, and want him to represent you in a DUI case, or would you go to your divorce attorney and say, hey, I have a DUI, can you represent me? You're not going to get the best representation. You want to find somebody that is actually the professional, the expert in
You
real
know
estate
what?
in that market.
Experience that I had, we were moving, and the other agent that we used didn't give us many details that we were like, they didn't even tell us. And then when we hooked up with your agent, she was thorough. And I can see exactly what you're talking about. We knew everything that we had to look forward to, and even the post conversation checking on us. So you do really cover details. You cover the stuff that matter to the homeowner experience buying, so that the agents are doing everything in their power to really give the buyer an experience. So with that being said, man, so when they take the course, who can, who do they need a college degree to come take your course? Who can take this course? Who's available to take
Anybody
this
over
course?
the age of 18 years old with a social security number and a high school education, whether it's a GED or a regular high school diploma, anybody can do it.
And it takes
Anybody
how long?
can do it.
How
63 hours.
long does 63 hours?
The
So
class is
how do you spread
63
it
hours.
out?
You can do it in 1 week. We have classes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. You're out of here and
Yeah.
get you in there Tuesday to take your state exam. By Thursday, you could pretty much be a licensed real estate agent. The application.
So you can groom them to really know exactly all the line items that they'll need to go to. Would you say that, when they leave your course, that they are prepared? Of course, you got to get experiences, but
They are prepared to
as
take
far as-
their state exam and pass that state exam. Like I said, the
Yeah.
state exam is made up of, a lot of principles in law.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of things in there that are, I'm not going to say they're not relevant. They are relevant, but it's things that you will never use in the day-to-day operations in real estate.
Yeah.
So what we prepare you for is to pass the state exam. That is my number one job. And, we take, a lot of other schools, they get you in there, they give you the 63 hours. They say, bye-bye. If you don't pass this, come back for our cram course. It'll be an additional $250. Or buy these gift cards, or buy the flashcards, or buy this extra book. This will help you. No, it's the real life practicality that we incorporate into our curriculum that actually makes it work. And then we also have the pass the state exam guarantee, which is something unique, and people told me I'm crazy for it. And that just basically says, if you take our 63-hour class here, and if you don't pass your state exam, you bring the results back. So instead of going through a cram course, which is going to cram 19 chapters over a course of a weekend and say, okay, thank you for your $250, go back and try it again, we actually sit down and we go over the results. And typically 9 out of 10 times, somebody did poorly in 3 or 4 of the chapters. So that we will spend the time and go over, whether that's 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, to actually go over what you didn't understand when you took the state exam. And then you're going to go back tomorrow and you're going to take it again. And if you don't pass at the end, you're going to come back here. And these are all included in our class. We're going to make sure you came to me because you wanted to be a licensed real estate sales associate. So that's what you've entrusted me with. And I'm going to make damn sure that I'm going to get you to that point. And that's our commitment.
No further calls? There's no further cost. You do that.
The only other cost would be your application with the state of Florida, and that's like $89.
Yeah.
The cost of getting fingerprints. That's it. I mean, where else can you start a business for under $1,000 where it's pretty simple to make 6 figures your first year easily, and you're setting yourself up to start making.
Let me ask you this, because I was really curious. A person come in, they come off the page, they say, hey, I want to do that. What is the earning potential for someone who's probably in a dead-end job making $40,000 a year? I'm not saying that $40,000 is nothing, but we all know that the ART is $72,000 just to say I'm financially secure enough to do the kind of things I want to do, but what earning potential would someone who's in a dead end job or just a career that's just not feeding them the way they want to be fed? What's the earning potential on average for someone like that?
The beautiful thing about it, Eric, you're self-employed.
Yeah.
Your earning potential is 100% in your hands.
Yeah.
It truly is. There's no measure of what your earning potential is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
tested, and you can't deny that real estate
yeah.
has built more million and billionaires than any other industry.
Yeah.
You know, the median
Yeah.
income in this country, sadly enough, is about $60,000 a year. Now, we can go over things. I mean, I came from somewhat of a legal background, and attorneys go to school for 7 years, 4 years plus 3 years. Their student debt, 200,000 plus. You know what a starting salary in the state of Florida for an attorney is? Between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. You're an attorney. You went to school for 7 years.
Just insane.
That's insane.
That's
a doctor. You know, I mean, let's go back to the attorney. The average attorney in the state of Florida, the average attorney makes $120,000 a year. $120,000 a year. I have real estate agents that are making $200,000 to $250,000 a year. They don't have a college education. They're just out there doing their thing. They perfected it, and their networking, you know, their follow-up and their farm area, they have taken it to a different level because they work. They're not lazy.
Yeah.
Then you go into doctors. Doctors go to school for 10 years. You know, what does a doctor make in residency? They only make about $60,000 a year in residency. The average doctor in the state of Florida makes $170,000 a year. That's 10 years of schooling. But yet, you can get into real estate for under $1,000 in less than a week. And the other one that blows me away, is the guy that cuts our hair.
Yeah.
He had to go to a school anywhere from 10 months to 12 months, and that school costs between $8,000 and $12,000. So he can get paid $30 to cut your hair. $30 to cut your hair.
Yeah.
He had to go to school that way. And
I can relate to that.
$1,000. If I just take a friend of mine out and show him a rental property, he rents it, I'm going to make back my whole investment. I'm going to make back $1,000 that I paid to get my real estate license just doing one rental. And there's nobody out there watching this right now that could not use real estate. And I've told you this when I first met you. Go get your real estate license. Come here. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Because you know at least 3 or 4 people last year that have either moved, bought, rented, sold, invested in real estate, even if you just did it to help out your friends so they didn't get taken advantage of, or so that they had a great experience.
Yeah.
Even doing it on the side for your friends, you could have made an extra $30,000 or $40,000 last year. That might not be a lot of money, but you know what? It's going to provide you and your family a really nice vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. For a lot of people who have jobs. Yeah, you know, a lot of people who have regular jobs, $30,000 to $40,000 is not even a realistic dream. They are like, how do you get an extra $30,000, $40,000? But when you become independent, you get as much as you want because that's how much you're committed.
Ending.
It's never
ending. There's just so many. There's so many ways. I could tell you that. You know, I've done it. Agents do it all the time. To where if you have a family member up in New York that's looking to sell a house, or looking to buy a house, and you reach out to me, I don't have a license in New York to sell property. I'm not going to fly to New York to help your friend, you know, or your family member, but I have a whole network of real estate agents all around this country. And when I call up agent A and say, hey, John, how you doing? I have a really good friend of mine that's looking to buy a house. Let me send you over my referral agreement. So they're going to help them buy the house. They're going to make a $12,000 commission, and they're going to give me a 30% referral fee. So I'm going to make that 36.
So you're making it clear to people why there are people out here, especially the real estate agents, that are just living this life, driving these cars in these homes. You're really making it clear how this is actually happening. That's what I like. So when someone comes to take the classes, I think you really love what you do. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, you know, yabba dabba doozy.
It's 20 and
How much do you love what you do? How much do you love what you do?
it's a 20. I mean, I have been blessed, and it's hard for me to say that I understand when I have a lot of friends of mine that are not in real estate, and oh my God, thank God it's Friday. Oh God, it's Friday. I got the weekend, and it's
Yeah.
what's the difference? And I got to go back to work on Monday, and it's Monday. So you see it all over social media. Oh, it's Monday. If you don't like what you're doing, make a change.
Yeah.
I get up excited to come to work every day. I love being at work. I love what I do. So it's really not work for me. I don't want to say I work 14 hours a day, but I'm here 14 hours a day. But for me, it's fun. Everybody says, Rob, you don't ever work. I'm working every minute of that 14 hours, but I'm having fun and I'm loving life. It's truly giving me a life that I thank God today for.
If anyone who's physically here in South Florida and you're not in real estate now, there are only 6 cycles of questions that you ask yourself before you pull the trigger on doing something. And when you see someone who's enthusiastic that wants to be the one that gives you that knowledge so that you can finally give yourself the opportunity to have financial freedom, especially if you live in South Florida. I mean, you want to be able to enjoy this life. And would you say that real estate's a real cool life? How would you rate the average, real estate agent that lives, especially down in South Florida area?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's an amazing path. I mean, there's just so many different facets to real estate. There's so many different opportunities and potential, and there's just no way. Let's look at it this way. Let's think about the fact that even if you did it on the side, you wanted to start investing in real estate.
Yeah.
You came, took this course for $700 and got your real estate license.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to start investing in real estate? Well, first of all, look at the fact that you're going to make a 3% commission for buying, for being the buyer. You're going to keep your own commission. So that 3% goes towards your 3.5% down payment. So what kind of a down payment do you need? You find a seller that's going to give you closing costs, so it helps you start within the investing. And let's go back to where you just help 1 or 2 of your friends and you make an extra $20,000. So you take that $20,000, put it,
So you basically eliminate your costs by using that 3%. You're just almost erasing it. So you're just kind of you're winning. You're having your cake and you're eating it too.
It's really the true way. Like I said, there's a lot of people that say buy houses free and clear, or buy a house with no money down, no credit. This is one of the ways that you could buy something with no money out of your pocket down, because you're just taking the commission that the seller was paying and applying that toward your down payment. Your typical FHA payment is 3.5% down payment. Mm-hmm. So let's go up with 0.5%. You have the seller pay your closing costs or 3% of your closing costs, and you go buy that investment property. Let's say you did sell 1 or 2 houses to friends over the year. You put that money away in the bank, and now you have that, $15,000 or $20,000 in commissions. Apply that towards that. It's just, it's limited.
It's the most calculated way to $1 million.
Property management. You can do property management. You can do appraisals as long as they're not, for federally backed loans. You can do work with probate attorneys. You can work with divorce attorneys. These are all places where, you could find listings. So you have a friend that's a divorce attorney. Then you're just going to keep them in your Rolodex. You're going to keep, talking to them, him, her, all the time. And she's going to give you, listings. She's going to say this couple's getting divorced. They can't agree on an agent to use because each one of them want to use their friends. So we're going to appoint you as the agent to handle this transaction. And that's just how easy it is.
So just say, for instance, right now, on my page, it's probably somewhere, and it just could be lowballing a number. There are 30,000 average trainers. People who already communicate with people would be very good at, being in real estate because their life is communicating, relationships, helping, serving. If someone from that field decided, okay, I'm gonna do this, because I can definitely put one foot in, commit to that test. It's how many hours? 673. How many hours?
63,
63.
63 hours.
Wow.
It's 1 week.
60.
63 hours. 1 week. Start Wednesday morning, you're done Sunday afternoon.
And they could,
people like you're saying, the trainers,
yeah,
those type of people
yeah,
do amazing in real estate, and they don't even realize it. They do. Bartenders, wait staff, people in the hospitality or the service industry. Not only is a bartender, they're
therapists.
And when you're a sounding board and you're in the gym training and you're hitting that bag, you're like, I can't, I can't stand living where I'm living. My wife, my girlfriend, whatever. I mean, you're having conversations with them. And just, again, as a side hustle, you're dropping the dime that, well, I have a real estate business on the side. And if you ever need help, in finding a new home or finding a new rental, I'm here for you.
Oh, man.
They've already trusted you with what you've been able to accomplish with them. So now you're making that little bit of side income. I'm not looking to buy right now, but my sister's been looking for a house. I remember you told me you were in real estate. Absolutely. So those are the things. It's just easy because you're good with people, because you could talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what
that makes so much sense as far as you're already in front of a lot of different people. I mean, they're just coming.
Right. With the service industry, you've already accomplished the biggest task. You have to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. Once they know you, like you, and trust you, they will eat whatever you want to feed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you back that up with integrity and commitment,
quality,
you will win them over, and you will win every one of their friends over. How did you get this nice house for such a great deal? I was working with Eric, my trainer. He also owns a real estate company. He does his real estate business. And Eric found us this house. He negotiated the best deal. They wanted $700,000 for it, and he got it down to $620,000. He saved us $80,000 on this house. He helped us with the inspections and the appraisals, and he got us a great lender, and we were able to put down just 5% or just 3.5%. And it was just an experience. Eric's the guy. That's who you got to call, and that's how you build this business. It's easy.
Wow. Now, I know there'll be a lot of people. There'll be people who don't, they may not be living in South Florida. They might live in North Florida and can't get away from their job. You have an online presence at all for them to maybe check it out?
We do offer an online course as well. However, it's one of those things that we offer them out of necessity. We offer them because 60% of people actually are taking the online real estate classes now. However, their passing rate is very poor because you're not getting. Again, it's reading a book.
Let me finish this.
You're not.
No, I got to tip because what you're saying. See, that says everything about you. You don't want their money. You want their success. So people, that is the character trait. That's who you're talking about, right? This is character. It's not about the money. That's why I asked you how much you really love your job. He said on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 20. I don't want your money. I want your success. See, that's who you can trust. I'm in the industry of service. And what you're doing is you're basically, without even realizing, you're telling people who you are. So if you are a person that has success online doing something already, like you like, I take online courses. That's what I do. If you're that person, then that's probably for you. If you're someone who hadn't done it before, you're not sure, then he's saying that's not for you. It's worth making that trip, getting you an Airbnb for a week, whatever it takes, get here physically, whatever it takes. Because it's one time out of your life that you have to commit. When I was getting my licensing for nutrition, I had to stay with my sister for like 3 months. Whoa, it was a lot, but I did it. It was one time in my life I had to make a sacrifice. So that's kind of what he's saying. Go ahead, man. I didn't mean to take the floor, but I just wanted people to understand that's a character. trait. I don't want your money. I want you to win and experience what I'm experiencing and what I've shown other people to experience. So hats off to you, brother. That's all I
Thank
got
you.
with that.
I mean, but
Yeah.
it's true though, because it, my integrity, my legacy, what people, what they achieve are my
Yeah.
achievements. And that's truly. I mean, I had an agent, close a transaction. She made $160,000 commission on one deal,
Yeah.
and I could not be happier for her. I mean,
Yeah.
to see what she comes in. She was a bartender, making 70, 80,000 a year, bartending till 2 o'clock in the morning. And when she came in, she goes, "Oh my God, this is gonna close." She was excited when she first got it. And
Yeah.
then, of course, 60 days later, because it was a larger transaction on a multifamily building, and she closed it, and she sat there crying, going, "Oh my God, this is no longer a $5 tip, or, this is real." She goes, "I've made $8,000 and
Yeah.
$9,000 commissions, but to pull this off, and I was just so happy. I was proud of her, and it was just, it's one of those things that you have to be able to enjoy what you do for people. It's
How
like
did
with
you
you
get her
in
in?
the boxing.
How did
Somebody comes to you
how
and
did
says,
you
"Derek,
get
I want to lose 20 pounds." If you
Yeah.
get them to lose 20 pounds and you see them, you're just happy that they look good, they feel good, and that's your achievement. You didn't get paid per pound they lost. You just looked technical, and you
No,
showed them how to do it, and
you're right.
it's amazing.
You're right.
You know.
What
But
I
I
was going to
also,
ask you,
real estate online courses. If I said, "Teach me how to be a trainer," just send me a
yeah.
book, and I'm going to read how to be a trainer. Is that going to work? Teach me how to box, Eric. I want to go fight Mike Tyson or, Logan Paul, or I want to go fight Floyd Mayweather. Send me a book. I'm going to read how to throw a jab the right way. No, you got to be
Yeah.
training. You got to be
Yeah.
sparring. A
Yeah.
book's not going to tell me how to be a great boxer or a great trainer.
Yeah.
You know.
You got to definitely, well, have a team. Be a part of a team. You got to get the physical. The book shows you a process, but you got to go get the hands-on, the practical. And with that being said, people who are currently in this industry already who are not having success, would this course be for them?
People that are already in the industry, they don't need the 63-hour course. But like I said, we have a full calendar schedule full of advanced learning classes to where they can come in and, learn. Like I said, a lot of agents are sitting at home not knowing how to get business or how to pick up new business. And they hear how much it costs to get Google ads, how much it costs for social media marketing, how much it costs to hire a coach, how much it costs for leads from Zillow. You don't need to do any of that. You don't. I mean, the best marketing is free. The best marketing is you and your circle of friends, your influence, your family. Those are your best marketing tools you could possibly imagine. And next week, December 5th, we actually have Neil Cresswell, who is the founder of Self-State Realty Network Systems. He's the top producer in 2 different countries. He was a top producer in Canada, moved here to Florida, not knowing anybody. And within this first year here in Florida, he became a top producer here in this country, closing 200 and 300 transactions, not knowing anybody. So anybody can do this. And you don't have to know everybody. You don't have to know I can't express how easy, but he's going to be here December 5th, Tuesday night, for one of our classes.
All right.
And just motivating people, telling people, how he made it in real estate, how he did it with nothing, marketing that didn't cost him $1. It doesn't cost. You can make things happen without buying it.
Wow. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. It's nothing like seeing the mentors, the people who've made it, the people who've already paved the way and they have the blueprint. So that'll be on December the 5th.
December the 5th, starting at 6 o'clock, right here in our facility at 701 Northwest 5th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. And, as always, we have a lot of networking events here.
Where can people sign up for that?
They can go to Flagler School of Real Estate.com. They can find us on social media, Flagler School of Real Estate on Instagram, on Facebook. They can Google us. We're all over Google. Our course schedule is there for our
Yeah.
classes and also our courses for our advanced learning classes. We have,
Are you signing people up during this time? Are you signing people up during this time?
we're signing up people every single day. That's the beautiful thing of it. We have such a great network of industry leading professionals. Christine Gill,
Yeah.
she teaches probate stuff here. If agents want to get probate listings, if they want to start working in that field and in that little niche market. And it's also
Yeah.
better when you're talking to clients to understand, what happens when they pass. We have Jamie Sasson, which is an amazing real estate attorney out of Boca. We have Todd Wesson, who's another great attorney. He also owns Coastal Title. These are all presenters that we have come in here. We have Eric Miller from EXP Realty, who's amazing. He's been
Wow.
in real estate, just as long as I have, and he has taken it to another level as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great speakers, a lot of great instructors, and last month we were blessed with having one of the greatest instructors is Dan Coco, who spent most of his career at Gold Coast schools.
Yeah.
He has sent 50,000 plus people through real estate school, and we
It's
were lucky
crazy.
enough to have him switch sides, and now he is here at the Flagler School of Real Estate. He's one of our instructors with a
Yeah.
63-hour class, and it's great.
That's
And that's how
insane.
we're working it.
Man, this is great, man. I'm glad you're here to create this gap of knowledge because a lot of people are so not clear. And I actually have like two neighbors, both of them. One did get with a decent company that gave him leads. One is just I want to bring him with me the next time I come down there because he definitely is. He's a good fit. He sings Frank Sinatra. So he'll probably be doing some gigs around it. That's his little thing. He loves to do that. But it's what you got going is amazing. And to put something like that together and have the giants that believe in you says a lot about you. If they're came over from where they were and are here to speak on your behalf, because people are representing their own personal brand when they connect and tie themselves to you. So it without saying anything else, that it says enough about you, your character, and how people view you and how they take their brand and they say, hey, I want to get with, partner with this guy. So I thank you. And the last thing you said, the Flagler School of Real Estate, FlaglerSchoolofRealEstate.com.
Yes, sir.
Make sure people get there. And the last thing that I said at the beginning that I wanted to share with you, I have a guy who's actually currently a broker, but he's not having the level of success that he'd like. Young guy, good looking guy, has very good heart. I've he's someone, I know your character, I know his personality. He'll be a great time to sit down with. And I think he has a good network around him. He lives probably maybe 15 minutes from where you are.
Well,
And
one of the beautiful things, things that we do offer, all of our advanced learning classes are free.
Yeah.
Those 3-hour evenings, we do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9. It's all free. There's never a charge to anybody that comes to them. And it's just full of information to help people. And it's a networking event. It's an informative, 3 hours, and it's all out. It's just a great time. It's a lot of fun, learning new things, learning different paths to take, learning different niches in the market, and just reinstilling. This is a beautiful life we have.
And you have a beautiful, like I said, your office, the school is amazing looking, plush, brand new. I mean, people will come, they'll have a great experience. I can speak firsthand. And the young man, after I told him and explained to you, he was like, man, I appreciate you keeping me in the loop. I'm super interested. And I like people coming into stuff with that level of enthusiasm. I look forward to connecting, man. Maybe we all can do lunch and introduce you guys and stuff.
Absolutely.
But Rob, I appreciate you doing this with us, man. And when this goes live, it's going to be awesome. So thanks again. We will connect and go through the X's and O's on how we're going to create this thing and push it out. But thanks again for doing this, man. And until next time, I continue. Everybody out there, thanks for taking the time to watch. This is my man, Robert Ernst, the Flagler School of Real Estate. It's where you need to be if you want to see the highest level. That's all I got, guys. So long.
Thank you, Eric.
All right.